Over in the Marvel Comics universe, the X-Men have found themselves ensnared into an alternate reality due to the fact that Marvel's mutants overlooked one of the members on the Quiet Council, the governing body of the X-Men, known as Nathanielessex, Mr. Sinister, who ended up rigging the X-Men's resurrection protocols, causing several X-Men to fall under Sinister's influence, spawning the world of Sins of Sinister. Today, we're going to go ahead and dive into one of the final issues in this crossover with Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants #3 to see how successful Storm's resistance was in fighting off Sinister and the Empire of the Red Diamond. My name is Arakko Braddock, and today let's go ahead and dive into this latest chapter of Sins of Sinister. But before we get deeper into the video, I want to go ahead and encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that like button if you enjoy our content. And I want to go ahead and introduce this issue of Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants with Marvel Comics solicitation text for the issue. The Last Stand. 1,000 years into the future, the Empire of the Red Diamond has located Fortress Arakko, the last burning castle at the heart of the Storm system. The only hope for the universe lies in bringing a lost legend back to life. Ororo of the Storm returns to the Sinister Age for the final battle. I want to read off our creative team over for Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants 3. This one is written by Ewing, featuring art over from Alessandro Vitti, colors from Rain Beredo, letters from VC's Ariana Maher, and we have design in the issue coming over from Jay Bowen. And we have a cover for the series illustrated over from Leinil Francis Yu and Matt Milla. Here's a look over at Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants #3. I love kind of the iconic imagery introducing the fact that this is definitely going to be an issue centered all around Storm. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these preview pages for the issue. And I want to give a big thanks here over to Adventures in Poor Taste for posting these previews so fast. And I think this is a really fascinating issue of Sins of Sinister, not only because it's located so far in the future, but I think that artist Alessandro Vitti really is able to tap into some of the desperation that the entire Marvel universe is feeling now that they're 1,000 years into this really kind of horrific timeline, thanks to Vitti's more sketchy art and distorted facial expressions. I think the kind of, sense of urgency that some of John Fire's expressions bring to the issue really help and sell the kind of desperation across each and every member of the X-Men. Later on in the issue, when some of the fighting ensues, I also enjoyed some of the reactions coming in from Cora as well. The issue has such a dark ending, unfortunately, and some of those last couple panels with Cora are really kind of burned into my head. I really love the pages over with Storm. Looks like sadly we don't have any preview pages for this, but Alessandro Vitti's art gets a little bit more expressive when Storm comes in during the last couple pages of the issue, and we see kind of so many effects and interesting parts about this. Plus, I love the way that Alessandro Vitti kind of captures Sinister's smile with more lines than we might see from artists like, Paco Medina or Lucas Werneck that draw the character. So I really think that Alessandro Vitti brought something special to the art over for this issue as a whole. When we get kind of deeper into the story and see a little bit of some of Emma's operation over in the Empire of the Red Diamond, really enjoy how Vitti depicted all of those kind of visual sequences, as well as some of the chimeras in the issue as well. Now, in terms of the writing over for the story, really enjoyed what Al Ewing brought to this tale. One of the things I liked about this so much is it almost felt like Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants 2 was like the final issue of this series. And it's almost like this is some sort of, twisted epilogue taking place even farther into the future where, most of the hope has already been lost, but the Marvel Universe is still looking to kind of bring something back and kind of return Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants to be a kind of, functioning resistance to everything that's going on in the Sins of Sinister universe. Sadly, due to the fact that Sinister hasn't really managed to cover his tracks, some of what John Ironfire and the rest of the Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants characters are looking to do is kind of quickly foiled here. And I think it's just so fascinating considering which kind of characters were able to thrive in the Sins of Sinister universe, which versus, which ones essentially didn't make it to the end. And I really do think that the kind of final page in particular had a really powerful emotional gut punch for me. Each of these kind of Sins of Sinister issues have teased a little bit of moments of violence that have been just really kind of like horrific or even difficult to get through in some contexts. And I love the fact that kind of Al Ewing is still, I think, pushing the script to the limit and giving us a moment here that is just so horribly depressing. It kind of, shifts the tone of the series and paints, this new era of kind of Sins of Sinister in a really kind of harsh and negative light. So I'm really happy with the pages of Storm in the Brotherhood of Mutants #3. I think this is a great issue of the series that explores so many kind of fascinating looks at what the Marvel Universe is like nearly 1,000 years into this drastic timeline. It is so kind of bleak and sad to see the kind of last moments of Storms and the rest of her brotherhood kind of forged across xmenred. But love the way that Al Ewing kind of tied several of his plot threads from the main xmenred series and kind of collaborated with some of the other writers of Sins of Sinister to make sure that there was a cohesive thread being kind of plotted across this chapter. Really thought it was interesting how Sinister kind of collided with Storm, as well as some of the plot threads from Immoral X-Men in this issue, and very curious to see where Sinister is headed next to try and essentially undo the timeline that he created. I want to know from you, what are some of your thoughts over on Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants 3? Did you enjoy this issue as much as I did? What are some of your thoughts over on Sins of Sinister as a whole so far? And are you excited for Dominion? Well, thank you guys so much for coming to check out the video, and we'll be back really soon for more excellent comic book content. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.